very burning issue, and we are all eager to know what are the rights and what are the duties of the group of LGBT. Over to you, ma'am.
Unmute yourself, Rajni. Unmute, Rajni. Rajni, please unmute.
Yeah, yes. Is it audible now?
Yeah.
Okay. Dear Dr. Jaisimha, Sir, Madam Ashwini, Madam Lata, and other teaching staff of Bellad Law College, teaching staff of VSR Law College, and dear invitees from other states, guests, and my dearest students of Bellad Law College, and my dearest students of VSR Law College, advocate friends, one and all present on this platform, good morning to you all. On this special occasion, I wish you all happy Women's Day. I also congratulate and extend my heartfelt thanks to all the men who are supporting and standing behind us for every part of our lives. Congratulations and thanks to once again to all the men for your support. And 3-4 days back, Lata Madam has called me and she told that this year International Day theme is Choose to Challenge. And she has given me a challenging topic, and I appreciate principal and coordinator for choosing a challenging topic and enlightening about the challenging topic to all the people. And the topic given for me is rights of LGBT. And the gist of my presentation is, what is the status of LGBT in India, and judicial framework of protection of rights of LGBT, and legislative framework for protection of LGBT, and conclusion will be based on your opinion. And the rights of LGBT based on sexual orientation and gender identity. Third gender groups are divided into, actually not LGBT, LGBTQIA, based on sexual orientation and gender identity. Linga Nirdaranada Mele. These groups are divided into 7. L means lesbians. Lesbians means ladies having sexual orientation towards the ladies. G means gays, means gents having sexual orientation towards gents. B means bisexuals. Bisexuals means persons having sexual orientation because of their emotions, both to male and female. Bisexual sexual orientation will be there for these individuals. And transgenders, this is based on gender identity. Transgenders means the persons at the time of birth, they will be named as one gender, and after some time they will turn into other gender. They are called as transgenders. Q means queers. Queers means questioning. Their identity is not known, and they are termed as queers. I means intersex. Intersex means physically they will be having one gender qualities, and inwardly, inner side, they will have other gender qualities. They are called as intersex. A means asexual. Asexual means they can have neither female gender or nor male gender organs. They are called as asexuals. And this kind of community is not new phenomenon or new community. We all of us know about them. In Karnataka, we are calling them as Mangalamukhiyaru, Hijra, Jogamma, Jogappa, Gandujogu, Jogati. Ee tara navu kelta idvi. So this is not a new phenomenon. If you refer or trace back to history, in the history also in Mahabharata, we read about the characteristics of Shikandi and Bruhannala. And if we trace back to Mughal period, during the Mughal period, the third gender persons has been given highest powers and positions, and they were appointed in the army also, and also they were appointed even in the even as guardians for the women's to protect the women during that period. And also during the period of Akbar, finance minister was the third gender person. And if we refer back to the Ramayana, epic Ramayana, in the Ramayana we know that Rama was banished to Vanavasa for 14 years. When Rama was going to Vanavasa, all the people of his kingdom followed with Rama with tears in their eyes. After going some way, Rama turned back and told to his people, all men and women, please don't come with me. Wipe your tears and go back to your normal lives. But Rama forgot to mention about the third gender. He mentioned only men and women, you please go back. So what happened is all these third gender people stood there itself. Till Rama finished successfully his Vanavasa and came back to the same place, they stood there itself. So after completing the Vanavasa, when Rama has seen these third gender people standing off the way itself, he felt very happy, and he was pleased by the honesty and loyalty of the third gender, and he has given a boon to them. You should be the part of every auspicious occasion, and also people should reward them. So now also we are seeing that whenever we are celebrating any functions, we are inviting the third gender people, and we are rewarding and we are respecting, and their blessings are considered as if the God's blessings. That community, we are not a new phenomenon to us. But what is the challenging for them is Section 377 of IPC, which is made under 1860 by the British period. That is the section challenging for them. The section says the homosexuality is considered as an unnatural offense, and consensual sexual conduct of homosexuals is criminalized, and some punishment and fine is also imposed under this section. Now the challenge before the courts is whether this section is constitutionally valid or not. Before going to validity of it, I will remind you, Universal Declaration of Human Rights says, all human beings are born free and equally, and they are entitled for inherent, inalienable human rights and natural rights. When they are human beings, they are entitled to all these natural and human rights. And also the Constitution of India also guarantees rights that Article 14 says, the state shall not deny equality before law and equal protection of laws and equality. All the persons should be treated equally, and they should be given equal protection under the laws. And Article 15 says, no discrimination only on the grounds of religion, race, caste, gender, or place of birth, or any of them. Article 15 prohibits discrimination on the basis of gender. And Article 19 says freedom of speech and expression for all the individuals. Whether third gender people have right to express their sexual feelings freely or not under this article is the challenging before the court. And Article 21 also says right to life and personal liberty. Every person has right to live with human dignity. And when all these rights are guaranteed under that, whether these rights should be given to the third gender people or not. So that is the question before the courts to declare Section 377 IPC as unconstitutional. Now we will see what is the judicial framework on protection of the rights of the third gender. In Naj Foundation versus, in 2001, Naj Foundation versus NCT Delhi, National Capital Territory, Delhi. The question before the court was to declare Section 377 of IPC as unconstitutional. Before this case, what happened is 20 third gender people were arrested in the railway station of Delhi based on the allegations that they were involved in sexual acts, and they were arrested under Section 377 of IPC, and bail was also refused to grant for them. And same incidents were appeared in Lucknow and also other places, Bombay and other places. And there are the many instances where the police has misused Section 377 of IPC, and many times homosexuals were arrested, even though when they cause little nuisance also, they were arrested under this section. So Naj Foundation, a voluntary organization, filed a writ petition, PIL, public interest litigation, in Delhi High Court. But unfortunately, in 2001, Delhi High Court held that this section is not unconstitutional, and human rights are the constitutional rights of homosexuals are not infringed. When the Delhi High Court has given this judgment, Supreme Court interfered and advised the Delhi High Court to reconsider the decision. So Delhi High Court reconsidered the decision, and in 2009, after a long period, Delhi High Court held that, yes, Section 377 of IPC is against to the human rights and constitutional rights of the homosexuals, and it decriminalized Section 377 of IPC. So the rights were guaranteed to human rights, and the fundamental rights were guaranteed to the third gender people. Yes, and this case was appealed by Suresh Kaushal in the Supreme Court. The decision of the High Court was appealed by Suresh Kaushal versus Naj Foundation in the Supreme Court. In this case, Supreme Court, in the appeal, Supreme Court held that this is not the subject of the court to decide. This is the subject of the Parliament to debate and decide on this matter. And the Supreme Court referred the matter to the Parliament to debate and decide on this issue. And once again, the Supreme Court recriminalized Section 377 of IPC. Again, we came back. Their rights are again curtailed by Section 377, Supreme Court decision. But this was in 2013. In 2014, NALSA versus Union of India, NALSA, National Legal Services Authority versus Union of India, in 2014, again Suyomoto again filed a PIL in the Supreme Court, and in this case, the issue before the Supreme Court was whether there is a need to recognize LGBTQ community as a third gender or not, was the issue. So, for discussing with this issue, I wanted to enlighten some comments of the justices. Justice Indu Malhotra, the bench to decide this issue, she stated that history owes an apology to the LGBTQ community and their families for suppressing their rights and for not guaranteeing their rights or protecting their rights for so long period. And Justice Chandrachud also, based on Justice Puttaswamy versus Union of India case, and another case just Jabalpur versus Shukla case, on these judgments, on the basis of these judgments, he has written in his judgment that sexual orientation and feelings of third gender comes under the ambit of right to privacy, and it is clear violation of fundamental rights of the third gender people. And also he stated that they shall be given equal citizenship rights, and also they shall be given with equal protection of laws should be guaranteed to the third gender people. And based on these observations, Supreme Court has given a landmark judgment that, and it created a third gender status to the LGBTQ community. Third gender status has been given to the, and also Supreme Court held that it has pointed out that in this landmark judgment, Supreme Court has pointed out that it is clear, section 377 is clearly violation of Article 14, Article 15, Article 16, and Article 19, 21 of the Constitution. And it has given the directions to the government to make social welfare policies also, and also consider these third gender people as socially and economically backward classes, and some reservation should be provided to them. What the provision is made to socially and economically backward classes, the same provisions should be made to them, and immediately all the state direction is given to all the state governments to make social welfare policies on line with the judgment of this Supreme Court decision. And what is the legislative framework after the judicial judgment? And soon after the decision, the government in 2019 has made Transgenders Protection of Rights Act 2019. In this act, the government has given central government has given all the directions to all the state governments to make social welfare policies to provide reservation and benefits in the areas of education, employment, housing, pension, and other rights and other facilities. After this decision, after this act, even it has given instruction to all the institutions and all the employment places and all the organizations to, along with women and men column, third gender column also should be included. And already online with that, our universities are also included third gender column, and also other this one also it is included. Columns are provided, and also separate facilities for this on par with men and women. Hello madam, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನನಗೆ ಯಾರ್ದು ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
Yes ma'am, I will request all the participants to mute their mic as well as video, kindly please. It is disturbing everyone. Dundappa Kallati, you also. Thank you ma'am.
Yes, and on line with this act, it has given instructions to all the states to make social welfare policies on this subject. Yes, on line with that, all the social welfare benefits they are making, and the provisions are also there. Every government is within their level best, they are trying to provide the facilities to the third gender. And also in this act, one more important thing is instructions is given to the parents not to throw, if their child is found with any abnormality or third gender qualities, he should not be thrown into the society freely and without the protection. In this, if such child is found, they have only by an order of the magistrate, only by an order of the magistrate, if such child is found, he can be taken to the, by declaring him as a third gender, he will be taken to the rehabilitation centers, and government will provide protection to such children, those who are thrown from the house. That protection is also provided under this act. And on line with this act, recently also the government has recognized and awarded Padma Shri award to Manjamma Jogati. Padma Shri award, she is a recipient of Padma Shri award. She is also third gender person, and she hails from Bellary. And it is a proud moment for even Bellary that government has recognized and given prestigious award of Padma Shri to her. And ಆದಷ್ಟು ಗವರ್ನಮೆಂಟ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ವೆಲ್ಫೇರ್ ಮೆಷರ್ಸ್ ನ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನ ಏನು ಕಾನೂನುಗಳು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಇವ್ರಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ವೆಲ್ಫೇರ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್, ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕೇರ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ 2017 ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡಿತ್ತು. ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕೇರ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ 2017. I was also not aware of this Mental Health Care Act, but when I went to refresher course in Hyderabad, one psychiatrist had come to discuss about the psychiatrical behavioral attitudes of third gender people. In that context, she told about this Mental Health Care Act 2017. What is this act says is, Mental Health Care Act nalli enide andre, it is the duty of every hospital and doctor to provide and attend mental ill health patients immediately, and also immediately they should give the treatment. And also this act decriminalizes section 309 of IPC, that is attempt to commit suicide. If I say this, if I explain this with examples, you can well understand the importance of this act. I will give the examples of live examples of two transgender persons examples, Shaikat and Anushri. In Shaikat case, Shaikat was traveling in the bus along with other persons, and bus met with an accident, and the passengers got injuries. They received serious injuries, and they were admitted to the hospital. As Shaikat was a third gender person, the medical hospital refused to admit her to either to the male ward or female ward. So they delayed in admitting this patient Shaikat to the ward. Due to the delay, Shaikat expired in the corridor, hospital corridor itself. So if protection is given under this act, she would have received immediate attention and treatment. She would have survived. And also another example of Anushri is, Anushri was also third gender person. She was raped by 20 men. And when she was taken to the hospital, doctors refused to treat her, saying that she has not filled the application form according to the rules. And also she was a patient of HIV, and doctors refused to attend or give the medications of HIV also. So out of frustration and depression, she tried to commit suicide in the hospital itself. So police came and arrested her under section 309 of IPC. So if protection is given, because maybe due to chromosomal abnormality or endocrinal system abnormality or anything or emotional, excessive emotions, if a person tries for attempt to commit suicide, they cannot be arrested under section 309 of IPC by applying this act to them. This is the protection, important protection given to the transgender people under this act also. And another thing is a series of PILs are pending before the Supreme Court regarding the rights of transgenders' rights of marriage, maintenance, adoption, surrogacy rights, and also divorce rights. And other international human rights organizations, Amnesty International, and other organizations are, and even the Indian human rights organizations also criticizing the Indian courts and the legislations for not recognizing these rights of the third gender people. But this subject is in sub judice, it is before the court, and so far status regarding the third gender people is not cleared, and no judicial judgment is so far on today. It is not available on these issues regarding. It is not legalized. So far, I referred according to my literature collected. And remaining human rights, fundamental rights, and it is guaranteed. But regarding these rights, still the PILs are pending before the court, and all other foreign countries, human rights organizations are criticizing the Indian courts and the parliament for not making any legislation or judgments on these issues. So at this juncture, as the matter is in sub judice, the conclusion is left to you only on your opinions. But at this context, I wanted to explain you that even though we are living in the globalized era, modern era, even the Indian society is enjoying traditions and cultures, and it is based on traditions and culture. And it is marriage, maintenance, or adoption. These laws are personal. It is the religious feelings of the people, and they are codified in personal laws, and according to the personal laws and codified laws of religion, they are enjoying these rights according to their personal laws. So they are having, every religion has recognized a marriage as a marriage between biologically fit woman and biologically fit man. And family means father, mother, children, grandparents, grandmother, grandfather. These are the definitions of the this is marriage and family. So these are the important institutions of the Indian society. If these are framed on and codified on personal laws, whether this shall be also guaranteed to them or not, as the matter is in sub judice, I am also leaving it to your opinions. And one school of thought is that it can be given to them as we are living, because many foreign countries has recognized, and these rights also should be guaranteed to them. Another school of thought is that as these institutions are important and Indian society is based on these things, and if the child also is having the important rights to enjoy mother and father and family, and if adoption rights and surrogacy rights are given to them, family means father, mother, child, two fathers or two mothers or child is not the complete definition for the definition of family or the marriage concept. So rights cannot be, all these personal rights and which are codified according to their religion cannot be guaranteed. This is another school of thought. So at this context, at this context, I am proposing you one hypothesis. The protection of rights or implementation of rights of third gender affects the rights of the public at large, or if guaranteeing of these rights to the third gender not affecting the rights of public. So based on this hypothesis, if it is implemented, if these rights are implemented to them, any effect is there to public at large, or if it is not there, and what findings if you get, based on your findings, you test your hypothesis and conclude. Conclusion is left to your discretion only. And one more thing, other school of thought is that, yes, one school of thought says it is against to equal citizen, when equal citizenship and equal protection of laws is given to the extended to the third gender people, why not these family rights is? But and other school of thought, they argue that Article 21 of the Constitution says right to life and personal liberty. No person shall be prohibited of right to life and personal liberty except the procedure established by law, if that procedure is fair and reasonable. So I'm making you to test your hypothesis based on this article also. If the personal loss is a procedure established by law, and if that procedure is fair and reasonable, your conclusion may be personal law rights cannot be guaranteed. If you find the other way your hypothesis, then personal laws also can be guaranteed to the third gender. And with this, I conclude my topic, and I extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Jaisimha sir and Lata madam and Ashwini madam for giving me this opportunity. And any doubts or any queries are there, most welcome, and only with respect to the legal, if you ask, I can answer. Thank you very much for giving me this an opportunity.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for giving your valuable insights on the topic rights of LGBT. And with that, we will go ahead and take some time for questions. The meeting is now open for sharing. It looks like we have few questions. Now, may I request Professor Ashwini Hiremat to take up those questions, and Dr. Rajani, please provide your insights on that also, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Over to you, Ashwini, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, madam. Now we shall begin with the question and answer session. Madam, I have some questions with me. I'll just read out for you, madam. The first question is, in some parts of society, they, that is LGBT, are not ready to work, although many organizations are helping for their welfare and development. What do you suggest, madam?
Madam, your voice is not clear. Please, it's not
yeah,
audible.
Madam, just a,
okay.
Just a second.
Madam, am I audible now?
Yeah.
Okay, madam. The first question I have here is, in some parts of the society, LGBT are not ready to work, although many organizations are helping for their welfare and development. What is your suggestion, madam?
only one thing is because of shyness or historical background, because the society is ill treating them, and it takes some time for coming out. Until that time, we have to create awareness among the other people of the society, to mingle with them and to treat them as on par with other genders. So if they receive that kind of identity or entity, definitely they will come out, I think.
Okay, madam. I think so. The person who has asked this question, I think so. He is convinced with this answer. Madam, I'll next go to the next question. Um, just as how SC, ST, and OBC have reservations in the schools and jobs, is there any constitutional block to allocate reservation for these types of, that is, these kinds of people, that is LGBT communities?
Just now I told that in 2019 Act itself, Protection Transgenders Protection of Rights Act itself, before that, the Supreme Court has given the direction to the Parliament to treat them as socially and economically backward. As of now, the legislation is not there, but they can be treated as socially and economically backward. If once they treated like that by the government, they can be provided reservation.
Okay. Okay, madam. Fine. Thank you. Madam, another question, please. What is the impact on society regarding the offenses if committed by these people, that is, these communities, LGBT peoples?
Yes. I want a very good question. Really, I forgot to cover this in my lecture.
No.
One thing, because if you see, and Jayasima sir is also, Dr. Jayasima sir is also teaching IPC, I think. If you see the sections of IPC or other criminal sections, or sexual harassment sections, or sexual abuse sections, if you see, if a man commits an offense against the women, it starts with the verbatim of the sections will be like this. If a man commits an offense of sexual offense against the women, antane irtate. But if a man commits against the third gender, or a third gender person commits an offense against anta illa. Even the 2013 Criminal Law Amendment Act also, while making important changes to the IPC also, and even section 375 of the section is repealed in the 2013 Act. But it has also not changed the verbatim of that section. Only man commits an offense of rape against the women antane ide adralli. So that changes has to be made to the all these sections, and equal protection should be, really equal protection should be given to the third gender also. The words has to be included in those sections.
Okay, madam. Madam, thank you. I request the participants, if they have any other questions, please ask the madam.
There is one more question, Ashwini madam. There is one more question I'm reading. It's from Basav Prabhu Hugar. In chat box,
Yes, sir.
there is one question.
Just a second, sir. I'm not able to see the questions. Just a second.
In chat box, it is there.
Okay. The personal laws are the part of the life and liberty of LGBT community. If so, why won't the court guarantee their rights under Article 21 of the Constitution? Madam.
Yes, I know, and you know, you also know that. Just
Yes,
now I
ma'am.
told, and the hypothesis is proposed to you only. Yes, Article 21 says guarantees life and liberty to every person except the procedure established by law. And if that procedure is fair and reasonable, that can be. And one thing is, if the implementation of third gender rights affects the public at large, or feelings of the public at large, that can be defended under Article 21 of the Constitution, what I feel.
Okay, okay, madam. Participants, I request if there is any other questions, please let me know. Or you can ask it directly to the madam.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Surendra, tell.
Sudhindra.
Sudhindra.
Sudhindra,
Oh,
okay.
good morning, Sudhindra.
Good morning, madam. How are you, madam?
Fine, fine. You are teaching personal law, Hindu law.
There is a
But I am not to that extent. Please pose me a small doubt.
okay, madam. And just that I want to make a clarification regarding if we provide reservation to these class of people, sir, then a layman also wanted to get the benefit to want to convert himself as a transgender.
Yes.
Then
Yes.
that is the question.
Very good question. I appreciate you, Sudhindra. Because gender identity, ಲಿಂಗ ನಿರ್ಧಾರಣೆಯನ್ನು ಈ LGBT ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಆಕ್ಟ್. Act has given this to decided by the magistrate. The person, if he want to enjoy the third gender benefits or rights, he has to make an application to the magistrate. So one committee will be there, and after testing by that committee, he will be declared as a third gender. Then only he will be entitled to the third gender rights, benefits.
Right. Thank you.
Any other questions?
One more,
Participants?
I have one more, I need to seek one more clarification from Madam. Madam, with respect to this rights of marriages on this, what you call same-sex people. Now the question is that whether the marriage can be recognized between the same-sex people. But basically the marriage, if you look into Puranas or even if we look into that personal laws approach, marriage has got a purpose, especially in Muslim law. When I teach, I find one of the purposes of marriage is the conjugal society and procreation of children. It's more biological than what you call the legal, what I feel. So how
Yes.
can fit this question, that when the question arises that the marriage between the same gender can be recognized as a valid marriage, like that, how it affects the society or how it affects that sanctity norms that we have laid down for thousands of years.
So that is the Jaisima, you are knowing the answer, but just you wanted to test me. You are a better person than me.
No. Because I just want to put, because just I want to add is that it is more of a moral consciousness that is more
Or ethical, yes.
than the legal approach to such type of issues, what I felt. That's what I want some clarification.
Yeah. When I was referring to the other school of thought, they stated that these marriage laws are based on religion and religious feelings. So instead of disturbing the religious feelings of public at large, just like to give the protection to them, just like live-in relationships are, even though not recognized, legally recognized, or legal protection is not given, just they are recognized to protect the rights of the people, those who are involved in the live-in relationship. In the same way, the rights of the people who are in live-in relationship are like that. Some separate provision should be there for these homosexuals and the non-literature. Another school of thought, Odini, it has impressed me a little bit. So I'm going with that school of thought.
Yes.
Instead of disturbing the, yes.
No, what I wish to add is here, it is more the mindset of the people which is to be changed towards towards those people than the what you call the enforcement through law. Because we have seen there are many laws.
Definitely.
But as long as the man or as long as the human beings thoughts are the same, old based on the old theory, no law may not give any solace to these people, what I suppose. That's all.
And recently, one more thing is Karnataka government has registered the marriage, same-sex marriage, Padmashali and Varun or something, and it has registered actually. Karnataka government.
And you are referred to Manjama Jayamti. I'm happy that during the Women's Day celebrations at our KLU Society, we invited her as a guest, and probably I missed the talk as I was not in. I was in university, but
Okay.
most of my staff they attended, and she gave a very stupendous talk. And
Yes.
it's really a what you call a mind blowing.
Yes, really. I am also inspired by her interview in the YouTube, and we are also having the program of her in after the examinations.
Oh, great.
Okay, madam, I think so. There are no other questions. I think it's time to conclude the talk. I hand over the mic to Madam Lata Madam for her further communication.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for giving valuable insights on the topic, that is the rights on the LGBT. I think we have covered and clarified most of the doubts that has been raised by the Zoom participants. And the feedback link will be shared, and it is being shared in the chat box. So please kindly fill it. And to conclude, I would like to thank everyone who made this webinar possible. I thank Dr. Rajni ma'am for her valuable sharing of information on the hot and burning topic with all of us. I also thank Dr. Jaisimha, Principal, B.V.Bellad Law College, Belgaum, for always extending the support whenever it was required. I also thank the teaching and non-teaching staff of B.V.Bellad Law College, Belgaum, for cooperation and their support to make this event as a successful event. Thank you, and thank you one and all.
And I wish to thank the two other academic council members, Madam Chandrika, Madam Padma from my alma mater, Raichurla College, for joining, and also Mohan Rao Bulla, and all the principals who have joined. I am seeing some of the principals, and also my friends from Karti University, Warangal, who have joined this webinar. It's nice meeting all after a little gap due to our offline classes have begun. Otherwise, we used to meet online almost very often. Every Saturday, Sunday, we used to meet. Thank you, Rajni, for making our day. And it has been a very scintillating talk and very pleasure to listen to you always on a topic which brings a lot of vibrations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jaisimha, Lata Madam, and Ashwini Madam. Thank you once again for your kind invitation and giving me opportunity, Dr. Jaisimha. Thank you very much.
Ma'am, thank you, madam. Madam, it was very wonderful talk, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. You are talking about all aspect of covered by legal aspect. Everything. Lot of case studies are given to the information.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhakar. Thank you. And I keep this open for another 5-10 minutes so that the feedback form can be filled. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello, madam. Could you please send this feedback form on WhatsApp group, ma'am?
WhatsApp. Which group, sir?
The official group of college, ma'am.
We have
LAB 2021.
Like B.V.Bellad one.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, it is already there in the chat box. So you can take a copy of that and you can paste it in your group.
Ma'am, it isn't supporting, ma'am.
I don't know.
I have
it's
tried.
Not supporting. We will send you.
Yeah, it's okay. Basav Prabhu will send it. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Fine. See, participants, the link will be open for 15 to 20 minutes. So if you want to fill the feedback form, it is there in the chat box. So please copy it, and otherwise you can fill it directly.
Amzara.